What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers, so please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. If you decide you want to follow me on Instagram at Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor, be careful on Instagram as well. A lot of scammers over there who are impersonating me, slide into your DMs and asking you to send them money to invest for you. You guys that rock with me on a daily basis will know I have never talked about in any of my 1,000+ videos asking you guys or telling you guys I will invest money for you. So please, for you guys who casually stop by the channel, you don't rock with me on a daily basis, be careful. I do not ask people for money to invest for them. I only invest for myself. Anybody contacting you saying they're me, that's telling you to send them money to invest for you, they are scammers. So hopefully you guys got that. Hopefully you guys will not fall victim to one of these scams. If you want up to 15 free stocks, Moomoo is going to give you up to 15 free stocks when you open a new Moomoo brokerage account. They're going to give you up to 15 free stocks for just trying out their brokerage app. Moomoo is a legitimate, self-directed brokerage app that I use. I'm not asking you to send me any money to do anything with anybody. But if you want to have a dependable, self-directed brokerage app that you can use to buy paper assets, because that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today in this masterclass, I would ask you to consider Moomoo. There's a link down in the description box of this video. Go click on that Moomoo link. Open up your Moomoo brokerage account today. Now, when you open the brokerage account, the whole purpose is so that you can put money in the brokerage account so that you can start buying paper assets in order to build yourself some wealth. That's the whole point of it. So when you open that brokerage account and you put $100 in it, they're going to give you 5 free stocks. If you decide to put $1,000 in it, they're going to give you 15 free stocks. Here's the situation though, whether you put $100 or $1,000 or somewhere in between, the goal is you take that money then and start investing it in assets on a consistent basis to build wealth. That's the whole point of the Moomoo brokerage app, is to give you an opportunity to have a place where you can put your money in there and you can buy investments that will grow for you over time and build wealth. Moomoo is not the investment, it's just the brokerage app. Right? Just like any other brokerage app. But theirs is very convenient. I use it. Now, you can use whoever you want, but that's what I use. So if you're rocking with me, give it a try. Like I said, if you put $100 in it, they're going to give you 5 free stocks. If you put $1,000 in it, they're going to give you 15 free stocks for just trying them out. And then you're ready to build wealth, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. So in the masterclass today, we're going to concentrate on the big 3. Now, for you guys that have been watching me for a while, you'll know exactly what the big 3 is. These are the 3 major asset classes in our country and in the world where people build wealth. So that's what we're going to talk about. These 3 ways to build wealth and get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I'm going to concentrate on building wealth to $1 million using these 3 methods, these assets. Before we can dive into the big three, though, the really, really important thing we all have to understand is we have to have a relationship with money that is good. We got to know how to use money. Most Americans right now do not know how to use money, with the exception of spending it. They do know how to do that, but that's about it. Most Americans do not know how to build wealth. That's the reason America's in the trouble that they're in when it comes to their net worth, when it comes to assets that actually generate passive income, right? We're in trouble. So this masterclass today is to give you some insight on building wealth so that you can get yourself out of the trap that's been set for you since you were birthed to this earth. This trap has been waiting on you, and most of us have fallen into that trap. And that trap is called consumerism. Consumerism is a trap that has been set for us by the ultra wealthy, the 1%, right? That's the reason why when we go to school, guys, I don't care if it's elementary school, I don't care if it's middle school, high school, college, master's degree, PhD, they don't teach you anything about building wealth in any of those levels of education. They don't teach you anything about building wealth. Guess what they teach you? They teach you how to get a job. Why do they teach you how to get a job? Because they want you to earn money to do what with it? Spend it. That's the trap. And most Americans fall in that trap. But we're going to change that today. By the end of this masterclass, you'll know exactly how to use the big three to get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The question is, will you take this information and do something with it? I hope you do, because it would be a shame that you go through your entire life, you get to the golden years, and you're in a lifestyle that you hate. That would be a shame. But I'm telling you, that's what's waiting on you. If you don't build some wealth and get some assets under your belt that create passive income, you're going to be in for a world of trouble. Guys, you cannot work actively for the rest of your life. At some point, you got to give it up. And if you don't have assets that generate passive income, you're going to have a miserable golden years. All right, so let's dive on into changing this, and then we're going to talk about these three major asset classes and how you can utilize them to build wealth. Again, guys, this is not fancy. This is basic stuff. But let me tell you something. I use this basic information that I'm getting ready to share with you for 25 years. Just basic information. I just executed on it, and I got to my financial freedom. At 50 years old, I was done. Now, you don't have to wait till 50. You can do it as fast as you want to do it. But I'm telling you, when I did it, when I was done using these basic concepts. But here's the thing, though. Unless we have our mind right, unless we change our behavior with money, it's going to be hard for us to consistently build wealth. Why? Because we're going to revert back to our old habits that we currently have in this trap. And those old habits are, the more money I make, the more I spend, because see, my identity is dependent upon these things that I bought. This is who I am, right? This is how I measure my success in the things that I have. Problem is, these things that you have, a lot of them, they don't generate any income. Right? They don't put money in your pocket. They take money out of your pocket. That's the problem. See, what you should be doing is spending and investing money in assets that actually do what? Put money in your pocket. Not liabilities, depreciating assets that take money out of your pocket. So you got to change the way you think. And that's hard for a lot of us because we've been programmed a certain way all of our life. get a job, work my tail off, take the money that I earn, go spend it on things that I believe make me successful or make me feel good or I can appear that I'm successful to others out in the world. That's what we've been trained to do. That's what we've been programmed to do. The problem with that is if you do that for your whole life, you'll never build wealth. And then you'll get to your golden years and you're going to be forced into a lifestyle that you hate. That's what's waiting on you if you do not change the way you think. If you don't reprogram your filter system to think better about money and to properly use money, then that's what's waiting on you. So how do you do that? How do you refocus, reprogram, change the way you think about money? I think it all starts with discipline. I think it starts with consistency, and I think it starts with patience. Those are the three financial behaviors that I think you have to live by. We've already discussed in past videos the financial principles you got to live by, which is live on less than what you make, live on a plan, which is a personal budget, stay out of debt, save and invest. Those are your 4 financial principles. The 3 financial behaviors that go along with reprogramming your filter system is discipline, right? Consistency and patience. Why discipline? Because that's the only way I'm going to get the financial results that I'm looking for. I got to discipline myself. Discipline equals results, right? If I discipline myself in something, I don't care what walk of life it is. If I discipline myself, I'm going to expect results. I get results, right? So in order to get the results that we're looking for, we have to do what? We have to discipline ourselves. And discipline is simply this: doing something I don't want to do, but I do it anyways because I want the result it produces, right? That's what discipline is. It's painful for a lot of us to be able to take our money every single month, put it into something that we're going to have to do that for multiple years before we see the result. That's painful to a lot of people because we're so used to this instant gratification world we live in. We don't have no patience. So a lot of times that's painful. But guess what? Discipline says if I want that result, that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, discipline tells me I have to do it, whether I like it or not. That's discipline, right? So that's number 1. The second thing is consistency. What is consistency? How do you get consistent? Through repetition. Repetition. Over and over and over and over, right? That's consistency. That builds consistency. No matter what you do in life, guys, if you do it from a repetition standpoint, you get better at it. If I'm a person that wants to learn how to do what? I want to learn how to run a 1 mile in a certain time. Guess what I got to do, guys? I can't just wake up one morning and say, okay, I'm going to go run a 5-minute mile, but I ain't done nothing. I haven't done no prep. I haven't practiced. I haven't done nothing. I'm just going to go out there and run it. 99.9% of us will never be able to do that. But I guarantee you, if you tackle it from a repetition standpoint, okay, I'm going to get out here and run this mile. I'm going to probably have to walk a couple of laps because I'm out of shape. But guess what? This thing going to be repetitive. I'm going to get out here and repetitively do this, consistently do this. At some point, I may not get to the 5 minutes, but at some point, I am able to run all 4 laps. I'm able to beat my best time. I'm able to put up personal. It's same thing, guys, with building wealth. Same thing. It's repetition. What's repetition? It's dollar cost averaging into our favorite investments every single month. That's repetition. Every single month, I'm a dollar cost average into my favorite investments. Repetition. Guess what? As I continue to do that consistently, I'm going to get better and better at it. That's repetition, guys. That's what consistency does. And then the last thing is patience. Back to this instant gratification world we live in. Y'all know we do. Y'all know I ain't lying. Come on now. We all want it right now. We don't even want to wait. We so bad, when we order something online, we will pay extra money to get it one day earlier. You tell me that ain't crazy. Nobody wants to wait. Everybody wants it now. That's the trap. That's part of the trap. That's part of consumerism. They've trained you that way since you were a baby. Right? It's now. I deserve it now. No, that's not going to work, guys. That's not going to work. I guarantee you go talk to anybody in any walk of life that's been successful at something. It didn't happen for them right away. 99% of those people had to be patient. They had to discipline themselves. They had to be consistent, and they had to be patient. That's what you're going to have to do if you want to build wealth. Because in today's masterclass, we're going to be talking about a 10-year window. A 10-year window to become a millionaire using the big three. But you got to get your mind right or none of this makes sense. Better yet, you won't do anything with any of it, right? But you got to get this right. You got to reprogram yourself. So work on discipline, work on consistency, work on patience. 3 financial behaviors. Work on those things. Start reprogramming yourself. And then incorporate the 4 financial principles. Live on less than what you make. Live on a plan, which is a personal budget. Stay out of debt. Save and invest. Those 7 should be the things you have on your mirror in your bathroom that you look at every single night, every single morning. And recommit to all 7 of those things every single day. Because if you can master those 7 things, these 3 asset classes we're going to talk about will be a piece of cake. All right? So let's dive on in to these 3 asset classes that I like to call the big 3, right? So we got paper assets, basically the stock market. We got real estate for income, and we got businesses. Those are the 3 asset classes that the majority of people who have built wealth have used. Without a doubt, those are the 3. Those are the 3 that I used for 25 years. So let's start with paper assets. The goal is we want to run hard for 10 years, right? We want to run hard for 10 years. Now, here's the concept I used. I said, well, okay, at the end of that 10 years, what do I want to accomplish? See, that's the key, guys, to building wealth. You got to start with the end result. You can't just start doing all kind of stuff, but you have no idea of where you want to end up. You got to start with the end result, and then you back into the plan in order to get you there, right? So what I did was I said, okay, in 10 years, 20 years, what do I want to accomplish? Let's say I want to accomplish $500,000 in net worth from paper assets over the next 10 years. So for the next 10 years, I want to invest my money into certain paper assets. I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be patient. Right? I'm going to live on less than what I make. I'm going to live on a plan. I'm going to stay out of debt. And obviously invest. $500,000. So what in the world do I need to invest on a monthly basis to get me to my goal in 10 years of $500,000 in net worth, right, in the stock market? Well, guys, I have to have $2,500 a month that I'm willing to invest. Number one, I got to have it. So back to those 7 things we talked about, right? Specifically living on less than what I make. I got to have income if I'm going to invest $2,500 per month every month for the next 10 years. Now, if I can get an 8% rate of return on that $2,500 per month on average over the next 10 years, then what would that give me? That would give me $500,000 in my portfolio. Right? Now, I know a lot of y'all are saying, Richard, that's easier said than done. Yeah, it is. Because if it was easy, we wouldn't have 150 million people who have no retirement savings if it was easy. So if you're looking for the easy way, this is the wrong channel. This is the wrong channel. Tap out right now. Ain't no get rich quick over here. I don't have a get rich scheme for you today that you can send me something and try to put your financial freedom on my shoulders. No, I'm not going to ask you to send me $5,000 and guarantee you something. No, I'm not going to guarantee you anything. What I will tell you, if you're willing to do what I'm telling you to do and be patient, be consistent, be disciplined, you will have a large pot of gold at the end of your rainbow. So, stock market, figure out your goal, right? Asset class 1, stock market, paper assets. Figure out what your goal is. Figure out what you're trying to accomplish. Figure out how many years you need in order before you need it accomplished. Those are important. You got to figure out your target amount, your target date, and your target net worth in all 3 of these asset classes we're going to talk about, right? So what's my target date in asset class 1, which is the stock market, paper assets? My target date is 10 years. That's my target date. What's my target amount? My target amount is $30,000 a year in passive income. That's my target amount. What's my target net worth in order to generate that $30,000 a year in passive income? My target net worth is $500,000. So now I'm ready to go. I know I got to have $2,500 every month. I know I got to put it in something that's going to give me an 8% rate of return on average for 10 years. I know exactly when I want to have this accomplished, 10 years. I know exactly how much passive income I want it to generate, $30,000 a year. And I know exactly the net worth I need in order to generate that $30,000 a year, which is $500,000. That's the plan. Now I'm ready to go to work. So you might say, well, what investment? Do I need 10 or 15 investments? No. You need 1 or 2 or 3 investments, max. And none of them need to be individual stocks, unless you want to. But here's the trick. You want 80% of the money you invest in ETFs or index funds. Why? Because you don't have to be the expert. They're passive investments that are already done. The research has already been done. If you go with the right company to buy these ETFs and these index funds, the research is done. The historical data is there. You don't need to be an expert. I don't need to read 15 books on the stock market. I don't need to pay some guy, I don't know, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 to teach me anything in his little Discord. I don't need to pay him that. Why? He ain't no expert. The experts are over here. The work has been done. It's proven. There's a historical track record of multiplying money. Then I take 20% of my money. If I want to try to be the expert and do some individual stocks, I allocate 20% of my investment to that. But 80%, which is the real investment that I'm gonna hang my hat on, 80% of that money needs to go into an ETF or an index fund, preferably that tracks the S&P 500 index, tracks the total stock market, and tracks certain sectors. That's it. 3 investments. Matter of fact, you only really need 1. That's the S&P 500. But if you want to split it up a little bit because you want to have a little bit more diversification, then great. 3, but no more than that, right? No more than 3. Which company do I use in order to buy my ETFs and my index funds? I use Vanguard. Now, there are many companies out there you guys can choose from. Go out there and knock yourself out. Personally, I use Vanguard. Vanguard is a pioneer in this game. A pioneer, right? They're the only true mutual fund company out there. They created the index fund, the ETFs, and all of that stuff, right? So here's the deal. I use Vanguard, but you use whoever you want to. The goal is to take that $2,500 a month and put it into something. That's the hypothetical we're working on. Whatever your dollar amount is, you plug it in. Richard, I ain't got $2,500. Then don't use that. Use what you got and plug it in. The key is get the activity going. So if you ain't got the $2,500 for the illustration I'm using, don't worry about it. Whatever you got, get it in there. Get the activities going. Get the reprogramming started, right? As you work your income up, as you add more valuable, as you become more valuable to the marketplace through increasing your skill set, you're gonna make more money. Once you start making more money, you're gonna already have your attitude with money right, your behavior with money right, so you're gonna want to invest more because you're gonna want to build your wealth. You're gonna want to compound your wealth, right? So whatever your dollar amount is, that's what you start with. But for this illustration, we're gonna use $2,500, which is $30,000 a year. We're gonna take that $30,000 a year, we're gonna put it into an S&P 500 ETF, similar to what Vanguard offers through their S&P 500 ETF VOO, top 500 companies in America. Why do I like that? Well, I like that because you got the top 500 companies in America across every industry, every sector. All big boys, right? Right? Go look at the S&P 500 index now. Compare it to what it was in 2022. It's a monster, right? And it's going to continue doing well, in my opinion. Not because I'm the expert, because that's what history tells me. Go look at the history of the S&P 500 index, guys. This ain't something that I'm making up. The numbers are right there. So all you got to do is the S&P 500 ETF or index fund that tracks the S&P 500 index. Over the last 90 years, 7 to 10% rate of return. We're looking for 8. I like those odds. Over 90 years, 7 to 10, I like those odds that I can get it over the next 10 years, 8% in that one investment alone. Richard, that's not diversification. Yes, it is. I got the top 500 companies in America. It's all equities. Well, I need growth. What in the hell I'm going to put money in bonds for when there ain't no growth in bonds? I'm broke. I need growth. Equities give me the growth that I'm looking for. Now, if I'm in the golden years and I built my wealth and I'm trying to protect my wealth, then I'll put it in bonds. Reduce my risk, reduce my rate of return, but my money's protected because I'm in the golden years. I'm living off the income from these investments. I can't afford to go through a 10-year down cycle in the stock market or a 5-year down cycle or 3-year. This is what I'm living on now. But when I'm broke, and I'm actively out here earning income and I don't have no wealth, I better try to hitch my money to something that's growing fast. And that's what equities give you. That's what the S&P 500 gives you. It has both growth companies and value companies working side by side in this 500 company index. And the track record is proven. The track record is proven, 7 to 10% over 90 years. Do the math. 8% on $30,000 every single year for 10 years. You're going to have $500,000 in your stock market, paper asset, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So that's paper assets. That's it, guys. It don't get no fancier. Okay, some of y'all might say, well, okay, what else can I invest in? I like the total stock market. Vanguard has one called the Total Stock Market. It's Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF VTI. The S&P 500 ETF is VOO. And the sector ETF, I like 2 sector ETFs that Vanguard offers right now. One is Vanguard Information Technology VGT. The other one is Vanguard Healthcare ETF, VHT. Why do I like those two? Well, I think technology is the future, especially information technology. I love that sector. And I love the healthcare sector. Why? Because we got an aging population in this country. We're going to need healthcare. Healthcare ain't going nowhere. And y'all know in our country, we'll never make it free universally. Why? It doesn't fit our model. It doesn't fit our economy. Our economy is about making the 99% work their butt off and spend every dime they got. That's our economy, guys. Whether you like it or not, that's the economy. Ain't no free nothing. Ain't no free nothing. So don't look for nothing free down the road. Oh, well, we're gonna elect this guy and he's gonna give it to us. No, ain't no free. You ain't gonna get no free health care. Now, I know some of y'all might say, all I do is Obamacare. Listen, guys, I ain't got no problem with Obamacare or nothing else that subsidizes the less fortunate. I'm not less fortunate. I'm not less fortunate, so I ain't looking for nothing free. That's why I build assets. Now, the less fortunate who do Obamacare and all these others, that's fine. I ain't got no problem with that. I don't have no beef with my taxpayer dollars subsidizing the less fortunate. I got no problem with that. Some of y'all may, but I don't. Why? Because I got assets. I got more than enough money being generated to take care of me. It's my duty as a human being that lives in this great country to help the less fortunate. That's how I feel. You ain't got to feel that way, but I do. See, I don't worry about money. This is what I'm trying to get you guys to listen to. See, when you got money and you got assets, you don't worry about money. The only people that worry about money who ain't got no assets, who ain't got no rainy day fund, up to debt to their eyeballs. Those are the people that are constantly worried about money. Not people that know how to use money to multiply money and have assets. Those folks don't worry about money because we know money is just a tool. It's not going to make me happy, but it will give me the bridge I need to get to the lifestyle I want. That's all I use it for. It's a tool. So that's asset number one, paper assets. That's the blueprint. Like I said, whatever your number is monthly, you can invest, plug and play. But you better come up with a target amount. You better come up with a target net worth, and you better come up with what? A target time frame. You better come up with those. A target date. Come up with those three things. And then take that money. Like I said, take that money. I've given you the investments that I believe. Again, I'm not your financial advisor. You go out and do your own homework. But I've given you the investments that have the track record of giving you that 8 to 10% rate of return over the 10 years. I've given you investments. Go look at VGT. Go on Vanguard's website and look at the 10-year history, on VGT. Go look at the 10-year history on VOO. Go look at the 10-year history on VTI. Guys, I don't make this up. Go right to Vanguard's website. I'm just telling you what's there. Just go look at it. And all you got to say is, okay, Vanguard did blah, 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 blah. Oh, shoot. 13, almost a 14% rate of return over the last 10 years for VOO. I only need 8. Historically, it says over the last 10 years, it did 14, including 2022 when it was a massacre in the stock market, right? Everything was negative. Including 2022, it still did almost 14% over a 10-year block. Come on, guys. This is not rocket science. Problem is we're so programmed to just want to spend every dime we make. We can't see the forest for the trees. That's how it is for most of us here in America. Well, how do you know you're going to get an 8%? I don't know that. I just trust the process. I just trust history. I don't know if I don't got no crystal ball, guys. I'm going off of what history says. I'm going off of my 25 years of doing this. Same thing I just gave you, that's what I did. I'm good. So let's move on to number 2, asset class, which is real estate for income. Not real estate, I'm gonna buy and live in it and show off from it. No, not that type of real estate. I'm talking about real estate we're gonna buy 1 to 4 family residential dwellings that we're gonna put tenants in. Right? And the whole purpose here is to do what? Build wealth. Through what? appreciation of the property. Now, we also want rental appreciation as well. That's great, but we're not worried about the rental appreciation right now because we're small investors, right? We're going to buy up to about 5 properties. That's it. Now, if you want to go higher than that, knock yourself out. But I'm talking to those folks who understand that real estate is just a way for me to do what? Put a little bit of my money in and multiply a lot of money. That's it. Turn my little money into a lot of money. That's all I'm using real estate for. I'm not using real estate to build some 1,000-unit conglomerate. That's a whole different subject. Most of the folks I'm talking to ain't gonna do that, ever. I'm not gonna do it, ever. Not personally. Maybe through the Prime Real Estate Fund, but not me personally, where I own the properties. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about taking real estate for income, 1 to 4 family residential dwellings, and duplicating a process that over the next 10 years, you can add another $500,000 worth of net worth to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's what I'm talking about. Here's the concept. 5-to-1 leverage. That's what we're going to use. What is 5-to-1 leverage? Well, that's where I put 20% of my money in to the real estate deal, and then I go to the bank or some other lender, other people's money, right? I leverage other people's money. They give me 80%. I put 20%. That's 5-to-1 leverage. I want to buy 1 property every 2 years. Now, how do I buy these properties? Can I buy these properties if I don't have a job? Can I buy these properties if I got raggedy credit? Can I buy these properties if I have no down payment? Absolutely not. You can't. I don't care what they tell you on YouTube. You can't. Okay. Oh, XYZ said I could. Okay. When you get out there in the real world and you start to try to buy these things in the right location. Now, I'm not talking about your $10,000 shack in some depressed area of some town. I'm not talking about that kind of real estate. Sure, you can go buy that. I'm talking about real estate in locations where people want to live, that appreciate in value. I'm not talking about, I'm gonna go get this and I'm just gonna Section 8 it. Hey, if you want to Section 8, that's your business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's not my cup of tea. That's not what I'm going to consult with people to do, and that's not what I'm going to talk about on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is I'm going to talk about buying real estate in the very best location that has the most opportunity for me to increase the value of the property. I don't care nothing about the rental income. The only thing that the rental income does for me is pay all the expenses and build me a reserve for my next property or for capital improvements to the existing property. That's all the rental income does. I don't live off the rental income. It ain't enough. What I want to get done is every property that I buy, I want to build up at least $100,000 in appreciation over a certain number of years, over a 10-year period. So the goal is I buy one of these 1 to 4 family dwellings. I buy 1 every 2 years, right? Now, the only way I pull this off, because we're talking about, let's say a $400,000 property, because the average price for a single family home in the United States is about $460,000, guys. Oh, that's not true. I live in, where I live, they're 300. Guys, I said on average across the whole United States, because I don't need all that in the comment section, right? I said on average across the whole United States, not in just your little town. I'm talking about every town, every state, on average, $460,000, right? So we buy one of those properties, let's just say $400K. We buy one of those properties every 2 years. And the goal is do what? We want to put a tenant in it, and we want to collect rent. We want to pay our expenses. We want to pay our mortgage payment, and we want to reserve. Every property we need to be reserving, right? Because stuff breaks. Plus, we want to buy another property in 2 more years. So guess what I got to do if I want to pull that off? I got to have some more down payment money in 2 more years. So I want to collect that rent, but I don't want to spend it on stuff to make other people wealthy. I want to reserve that rent. I want to reserve it. I want to save it. I want to put it away so I can apply it to my next property in 2 years, right? So we want to do that, rinse and repeat once every 2 years. The goal is to do what? Build equity, at least $100,000 worth of equity. Well, that's impossible. How do you know it won't crash? How do you know the market won't crash? I don't. I just know I've done it for 25 years through good and bad times and made a bunch of money, made 7 figures in net worth just by doing what I'm telling you to do. I don't know. I went through 2008. Guess what? When it crashed, I loved it. I was able to buy great properties in great neighborhoods at a deep discount. Yeah. See, you can buy real estate in both good and bad times if you know what you're doing. I don't care about what the market does. What I'm focused on is this: acquiring properties in areas people have a desire to live. The last thing somebody gonna let go is where they lay their head. If all hell breaks loose, that's the last thing people let go. So that's where I want to put my money, in residential real estate, 1 to 4 family, 1 every 2 years. How do I get this? I got to have a job. I got to have a business that has income, that I can prove it has income. I can't say, oh yeah, I make, you can't go in the bank and say, yeah, I make $10,000 a month. I just don't show any of it. I don't want to pay no taxes. You're not going to get a loan, period. So you figure out what strategy you want to do on the tax thing. But I'm telling you, in the real world, to build a portfolio of real estate, I'm telling you, as a small investor, I'm not talking about some big old gigantic conglomerate. I'm talking about as a small investor, you're going to have some decent credit. You're going to have some down payment money. And you're going to have to prove to whoever that lender is, you have consistent income coming in. And most times they want it through tax returns. Oh shoot, I made $100K, but I just didn't show any of it. Then you made nothing. In the eyes of the IRS and in the eyes of your lender, I don't care how much you made under the table. If it ain't reported on your tax return as income, you didn't make it, right? So you got to have verifiable income. You got to have a decent credit score. I would say 680 or better. Now that's not etched in stone, but 680 or better with no major derogatories, no minor derogatories, you should be clean, right? And then you got to do what? You got to have down payment money, anywhere from 10 to 20%, right? So those are the 3 things you should be working on before you try to go to a lender and borrow money to buy real estate for income. You need to make sure those 3 things in. I got to have 2 years of verifiable income on my tax returns. Because see, when you walk in there, and guys, I just was a commercial banker for 25 years that financed a lot of properties for a lot of my customers. So I know exactly what the bank is going to look for when you walk in there. First time you walk in there, they're going to want to say, well, okay, show me, are you employed? Are you a W-2 person? Or you got your own business? Sure, I'm W-2. Okay, show me your personal tax returns for 2 years and give me your current pay stub. Give me your current year to date of what you've made thus far. That's where they start on your income verification. If you're a business owner, they're going to say, okay, give me your 2 years personal tax returns. Give me 2 years tax returns on the business. Now, if you don't have separate tax returns, it's all in one, that's what you give them. You give them your Schedule C with your 1040 tax return. Then they're going to want to see your down payment money. Where's the down payment money coming from? You're buying a $400,000 house. Where's the down payment coming from? Then they're going to go peeling through those statements that you give them and see how long the money's been there and where you got it from. Yeah, they're going to do all of that. My point is this: clean yourself up so you're financially presentable, you're bankable before you go in there to try to borrow money. A lot of y'all going to say, well, golly, interest rates are so high. Why would I can't do that right now because interest rates are too high. And they are high, guys. But here's the situation. When I'm trying to build wealth, guess what? I'm going to have to take some risks. I may have to take on a loan with a little bit higher interest rate, as long as my cash flow supports it. As long as my rental income can cover everything, I got to do what I got to do because I'm broke. I got no net worth. I'm trying to build net worth over the next 10 years. So I can't wait for the perfect opportunity, because one ain't going to come. We never know what the real estate market's going to do. We never know what the stock market is going to do. We just don't. We never know what the economy is going to do. So when I'm trying to build wealth, I got to take more risks. See, as a guy who's already got to the enjoyment stage of wealth, I don't have to take that risk. I can wait. I can just say, you know something, I don't really have to buy real estate no more if I don't want to. I built my wealth with real estate. But I'd like to at some point. So guess what? I'm going to be patient and I'm just going to wait till interest rates come down. I can do that because I built my wealth. For those of you who are trying to build wealth, you don't have that luxury. If you can find a good deal out there and the cash flow makes sense from the rental income, it covers all your expenses, it covers the mortgage payment, and it gives you a little bit of something left over that you can reserve. I don't know what you're waiting on. We're not going back to 2019, guys, on real estate prices. If that's what you're waiting on, man, you're going to be waiting for the whole next 10 years and ain't going to buy nothing. We're not going back there. We're not going pre-pandemic anymore on prices, guys. I don't know why people think we are. We're not. So what you should be doing, get you a good real estate agent. Again, don't try to be the expert. Oh, I'm on Zillow. Zillow says it's... Listen, man, do yourself a favor. Go hire you a professional real estate agent in the market you live in. Sit down with that person. Tell them what you're trying to get accomplished. I want to buy one single family home or 2, 3, 4 unit property. Every year, every 2 years, I want to buy one of these. And this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. That's what you got to sit down with a professional real estate agent and walk them through your game plan and interview them. Don't just hire the first one you meet. Go to 2 or 3 of them. See what their strategy is to help you. They work for you, not you work for them. And I guarantee you in the state of the real estate industry right now, where home sales have slowed down to a turtle's pace, they are aggressive and ready to help people buy real estate that are serious about buying real estate. That's what I would do. I would not try to be the professional. When I'm ready to buy a piece of real estate, I go get me a professional real estate agent to help me identify the right properties for me. And that's what I'm recommending to you guys. So, asset class number 2, real estate for income. One property every 2 years for the next 10 years. That gives you what? 5 properties. Each property, we want $100K in appreciation over the next 10 years. How much is that in appreciation on my 5 properties? $500,000. How do you know we can do that? I don't know you can do it, but I can lean on my own experience. I did it over a 20-year period, and my 7-figure net worth was more than that. So I don't know. I'm just telling you, I did it for 20 years, just like I just told you. One property every 2 years. Take care of the rental income, take care of my tenant. And here's a little pro tip. I always had my rents below market, just slightly, because I always wanted to keep good tenants. See, here's the deal. If you buy in areas that you will live in, that you would raise your family in, those are the properties you look for. If I went into a community or into a neighborhood and I said to myself, Richard, I wouldn't live here. Hey, ain't no need of showing me the house. Let me get out of here. Because see, I'm not buying the house, I'm buying the neighborhood. I'm buying the community. Right? That's what I'm buying. I'm buying the neighborhood. I'm buying the schools. I'm buying the recreation. I'm buying the retail activity. I'm buying, the scenery. I'm buying the hiking trails. I'm buying a lifestyle. I'm not buying a piece of freaking, cinder block or wood. I'm buying a lifestyle. And when you start thinking about it that way, that's how you build what? Appreciation in each property that you buy. So that's what I did. Every 2 years, bought one of those properties, put a tenant in it, slightly gave them rental rates below market. Why? Because I wanted them to feel special. Oh, shoot, he gave me $50 under what the market says. Guys, that go a long ways for people who are just trying to raise their family in a good neighborhood, a good, safe neighborhood. Those little things like that keep your tenants happy, man, and they don't tear up your house. See, I never had problems with tenants. I never had problems with people not paying me, and I never had problems with people tearing the house up. I never had a problem with any of that. Why? Because I bought in communities that I would live in. And guess what I would do? I would screen my tenants before I signed a lease agreement with them. Background check, employment verification, credit check. Every time. That's what I did. Keep myself out of the weeds. I wanted to attract people who were trying to financially get ahead. People who understood the basic concept of wanting to raise their family in a safe neighborhood and be a part of that neighborhood. And a lot of those properties, guys, guess what? I sold them to the tenant. They fell in love with the neighborhood. I just sold the property to the tenant. Didn't even have to go through realtors and all. Just sold it to the tenant. Hey, Jim, I'm getting ready to put this thing up for sale. Y'all got first crack at it. Hey, what you asking? Well, let's talk about it. I wasn't trying to be greedy. I just wanted to get my 100K in profit and get out of it. And that's what I did. That's the blueprint. One property every 2 years. But you got to have some things in line before you go to your lender, right? You got to have your credit right. You got to have your income verification right. And you got to have down payment money. How do I get down payment money? Live on less than what you make. Live on a plan. Stay out of debt. Consumer debt. Save and invest. That's how you have down payment money. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. That's how you do it, guys. Those 4 financial principles will drive this whole process for you if you would just live by it. Well, I make enough on my job. I ain't making enough money. Increase your skill set. Get you a side hustle. I did. I was a 35-year-old guy in banking, making good money, building a real estate business, putting money in the stock market. And guess what? I had side hustles. I had side hustles all the way up until I was about 50 years old, when I decided to get out of banking and start my business. I had side hustles all that time. Why did I do that? Because I needed more money to accelerate my wealth plan, my wealth transfer plan. I needed more money. I wanted more money, right? Making good money on the 9 to 5, but wasn't enough. Needed more. I was too invested in the career to try to change. So I said, you know something? Keep this career. It's good. But guess what? On my downtime, instead of me being a consumer and watching a bunch of TV, going out and pleasuring myself and playing golf and pickleball and, kickball and, walking the dogs, or all that. Listen, you can do all of that. Let me tell you something. If you broke, you better rethink that. Take those hours, stop pleasuring yourself, stop with the consumerism, stop being a consumer, take those hours and turn them into production. That's what I did. I took those hours and I turned them into production. And I started selling watches online. I started these eBay stores, right? But guess what? Those little side hustles, especially the luxury watch sales, that side hustle right there, guys, I'm telling you, changed everything for me. Because I started making so much money flipping watches part-time through a side hustle, I could then take that money and put more money in real estate. I could then take that money and put more money in my taxable brokerage account, because I was already putting money in my retirement accounts. I needed to build up that taxable brokerage account. But I had no more money left over from the 9 to 5. So I had to go somewhere where nobody gonna give me nothing. I wasn't finna go back to school to try to learn anything. I just said, forget that. I'm gonna do me some side hustles. And that's what I did. Those people saw me come into my office at the bank for many years with like a little garbage bag. And in that garbage bag, there were watches. Because what I would do is I'd bring the watches to work after I've sold them. And on my lunch break, I would be packaging them up in my office, and I'd take them out to FedEx or UPS or however I was shipping them out. I did that for years. Wasn't none of their business. It didn't affect my performance on the job. Now, I wasn't doing nothing on the job. I just brought them to work because I didn't want to go all the way back home to get them to, save some time. But I did that for years. So if you're not happy with your income in order to invest in paper assets or invest in real estate for income, guess what? Up your income, up your skill set, start you some side hustles. Now let's move on to number 3, which is businesses. We've talked about the stock market. And here's the deal with the stock market. Like I said, we want to take a certain amount of money every single month for the next 10 years. I've given you guys my recommendations for you to consider where to put the money. Ultimately, that's your decision. You put it wherever you want to put it. Second, real estate for income. I've given you my recommendation. Stick to 1 to 4 family residential dwellings. Why? Because it's the safest real estate out there. That's the last thing people are going to let go. I promise you, if you go out and buy commercial real estate on a small scale, on a large scale, if we get into financial trouble in this country, our economy goes south. Guess what? The first thing people are going to walk away from? Those commercial properties. Yes, they are. I was a commercial banker, commercial real estate lender for 25 years. That's the first thing they're walking away from. They're not walking away from it. The only way they walk away from that house is if there's so much pressure on them, but they got to go somewhere else. That's the only way they'll walk away from the house if they got somewhere else to go. If they ain't got nowhere else to go, they're going to do everything in their power to pay your rent. But these commercial buildings, these commercial properties, oh, that's a whole different ballgame. Now, I'm not talking about multifamily housing. I'm talking about your traditional commercial properties, office space, retail space, industrial space, special purpose space. All of that's going to get let go if something happens. So if you want to go out and buy that, you can, but it's going to carry a higher risk level. Plus, you're not going to get a 30-year mortgage from the bank on commercial properties. They don't do that. That's only on residential 1 to 4 family dwellings where you get the 30-year locked-in rate on a mortgage, where your payment don't move at all. On these commercial properties, they're going to give you a 3-year fixed rate. They're going to give you a 5-year fixed rate, and that's about it. Now, if you're a really good customer and a big dog, they may give you a 7 to a 10-year fixed rate, but that's for their very best customers. You walking in there brand new, don't know nothing about real estate, they're not going to give you that. They're going to give you 3 or 5 years. And guess what happens in 3 years? Your rate can readjust. Guess what will happen in 5 years? Your rate can readjust. Matter of fact, the whole loan can come due. The loans we used to do at the bank that I worked at, the whole loan came due in 3 years. The whole loan came due in 5 years. So we would re-underwrite these people again. And so all I'm telling you is stick to 1 to 4 family dwellings, guys. I got experience in this. Stick to that. That's the safest bet for you. Stick to that. Now, let's move into businesses, then we're going to wrap this thing up. So when we talk about businesses, I got some experience, again, with businesses. I worked with business owners for 25 years, evaluating their businesses, lending them money so that they could actually grow and expand their business. I also have been a business owner of my own for the last 4 years, RF Financial Consulting. So I know a little something about business, guys. I don't know everything about business. I'm not some business coach guru. I'm just a guy who has done this. I started my business, RF Financial Consulting, with zero, from scratch. No guarantees. Nobody gave me nothing. I didn't go to some business seminar, Listen, I'm not telling you don't need to do that. I'm just telling you what I did. See, I knew the fundamental thing about starting a business that you need to know. You need to find a problem to solve, guys. You can't start a business unless you have a problem to solve. That's how businesses start. I sit down, I got an idea. Now I got to go out and find out if my idea can solve problems. If my idea can solve problems, then I start a business. Oh, I created an LLC. What am I supposed to do with it now? What the hell? What are you talking about? Why would you create an LLC if you don't got no business, no operations? Oh, I heard this guy on YouTube said I needed an LLC. And he's going to show me how to get $100,000 worth of business credit. Oh, really? Okay. Walk me through that. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to set up my LLC. I don't got no business now. I don't know what problem I'm going to solve, but I'm setting up the LLC, and they're going to teach me how to get $100,000 worth of business credit to start my business. Oh, really? Yeah, okay. 6 months go by. Hey, what's going on with the business? Oh, I ain't got started yet. But I done spent about $50,000 of that hundo trying to get ready. Who did you spend it with? Oh, the guys who helped me get it. They helped me get that 50, so I spent it with them for their coaching and their mentorship and all this other crap that they come up with. Oh, really? Okay. A year go by. We get on another call. Hey, man, what's going on with the business? Well, you know something? I don't think that was the right one for me. I think I'm rethinking that. I'm going to try something else. What happened to the business credit line? Oh, that's max. That's $100K I owe those people. I owe them $100K. What? You don't went through $100K, but you still got the LLC, but you got no revenue. No, you haven't come up with products, nothing. Nope. See, my point in telling you guys that is because I hear that all the time, guys. See, I've been doing this YouTube thing for 4 years. I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of DMs. I do a lot of 1-hour financial sessions. And I hear it from people all the time. They create these LLCs. They let some joker use their good credit, their verifiable income. They mess around and get them 100,000 line. And the whole purpose of getting them the line is so that they can get the money off the line in their pockets. That's the whole point of it. See, that's the whole point of getting you that. My point is this. You don't need to go out and borrow money unless you know what the hell you're doing, guys. Don't go borrow money to start a business if you don't know what the hell you're doing. Figure out what you're doing before you borrow money. Figure out what you're doing before you take your own hard-earned money and put it into something. If you haven't identified a problem to solve, you have no business. You have no business. You got an idea, you got a dream, you got a fantasy, but it ain't no business. See, businesses create revenue. That's what businesses do. It ain't a business unless it's creating revenue. If it don't got no revenue attached to it, it's an idea. That's it. It's not a business. I don't care if you got an LLC. I don't care if you got a $100,000 line of credit. If it ain't generating revenue, it ain't a business. I'll even go this far. If it's generating revenue, but it ain't profitable, you got to ask yourself, is it really a business? Or is it a hobby? I mean, who gets into starting a business and 3 years later, they ain't even profitable? Now, that's much different than some mega company out here that's researching and development for 3, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and then all of a sudden their product is ready and they hit it. That's different. That's a whole different animal than you. You're just you. Ain't nobody gonna invest no money in just you, unless you got a big enough solution to solve problems. Then people will invest in you. But you better come with some proof that you got a solution that can solve a lot of problems out there. Outside of that, guys, you don't have a business. So number one, I got to come up with, if I'm going to start a business, I got to come up with a solution that solves problems. How did I do that? Well, I said, okay. 4 years ago, I said, okay, what's my skill set? Banker for 25 years, real estate investor for 25 years, stock market investor for 20 years, created side hustles on my own for years. That's the skill set. That's the skill set. Now, can I take this skill set and go out in the marketplace and solve problems? Okay, what is a potential problem that I can solve, that I think I can solve, based on what I've surveyed out there in the world? Financial literacy is a problem. Probably the number one Okay, maybe not the number one, but it is a major problem in our country, financial literacy. So I said to myself, okay, I got the skill set. Now, how do I take this skill set and find people in this world that need financial literacy? My solution, right? Financial literacy is my solution. The problem is lack of financial literacy. That's the problem. Financial literacy solution, I got it, the skill set. Problem, lack of financial literacy. Now, how do I find these people? Okay, let's use social media. We'll give it a shot. Let's make some videos, throw them up on YouTube, see who responds. That's how I proved the concept. That's when I started the business. That's what you'll have to walk yourself through if you want to start a business. You going out and creating an LLC, guys, is not a business. I had a young lady, and I'm not knocking her. I'm sure she's great. Got an email from her. Oh, I got an LLC. I said, well, okay, what's the business? Is the business profitable? No need to start an LLC, guys, unless you have a solution. And then you've proven that that solution solves problems. Then you start the business, right? And then you figure out a way to get that solution out to the people that have the problem. I chose to use social media. It was free. So I tell everybody, I don't care what, I was watching something on YouTube. This cat on YouTube, he has a company that does like driveways, concrete driveways, or you want to have a concrete slab in the back of your house or something, sidewalks. This is what this guy does. This is his business now. And guess what? He puts every job on YouTube and he narrates over them just doing the job. The dude get thousands and thousands and thousands of views. Big old channel. I'm like, God, dog, y'all slapped me twice. This man is basically, this is what I'm telling you though, guys. It's being done. We make excuses. We hide behind insecurities. We let people manipulate us. Oh, start your LLC first and I'm gonna get you $100K and then we'll start the bit. That's backwards. That's backwards. You don't borrow money unless you have a business that's viable. That's when you borrow money to grow it. I don't borrow money if I don't know I got a viable business. Why would I do that? I just bootstrap it. Once I figure out I got a viable business, and if I can borrow 50K or 100K and invest that into my growth, and I can 10X it over the next 5 years, that's when I borrow money. But I need to be able to take that money that I borrowed and be able to invest it in growth to 10X it. If I can't do that, I don't borrow money. Period. Find a problem to solve. Once you find a problem to solve, then you bootstrap it. You use every free advertising tool you have, AKA social media. I don't care if you gotta make 100 videos a month. Pepper the marketplace with your solution. Somebody gonna find you. They found me. They found me. I was a nobody on YouTube and basically still is, but people still find me. I don't know, guys, it works. I've invested $0 in my business. Zero. Because it's just me and an iPhone 13 Pro and the skill set. The skill set. I don't need a bunch of fancy ring lights and a fancy thumbnails and 15 people that I hire on these websites that can do thumbnails. I don't need any of that. See, I don't need any of that because I ain't looking for no job. I'm looking to have fun and help people. And by the way, make a good living doing it. That's what I'm looking for. I ain't looking for no job. See, I spent 25 years in banking. I ain't looking for no job. Oh, why don't you get better thumbnails? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that with your business? Why don't you create? Guys, I ain't looking for no job. I like getting up in the morning, going out on my 1 hour walk, shooting my videos. Right there. That's it. That's the video. Take it, leave it. And I like doing the live streams because I get to really get this thing amped up. Business. Find a problem to solve. Once you find a problem to solve, that's when you can start investigating solving that problem. Once you have vetted that your solution can solve that problem, then we start putting some of our own money getting this thing going. Once I get it going and I see a clear path to $1 million in revenue, let's say I start the business and it starts going and I can see a clear path to $500,000, $1 million. And really the revenue number don't even matter. What matters is I can see a clear path to $100,000 per year net profit. So I got my revenue, I got my expenses, and what's left over is called profit. When I can do 100,000, 50,000, 75,000, 100,000 or more in net profit, if I can do that over the next 10 years, let's say I can do 50,000 in net profit over the next 10 years. And I take that 50 and I throw it into a passive investment to multiply it. I just put $500,000 into a passive investment to multiply it. I don't know. I'm gonna probably end up with about 800, maybe $1 million over the next 10 years on that 50K. I don't have my financial calculator here in front of me, but at an 8% rate of return, I'm gonna probably have $750 million from the business. See, a lot of people think, oh God, we're gonna have 10 million in revenue. No, you don't. What matters is the net profit. Oh, I don't want to pay taxes. Well then, hey, don't have no profit. That's up to you. I don't mind paying taxes. As long as I only pay my fair share, I don't mind. I keep telling y'all, money is not the goal, guys. Money is not the primary objective. The primary objective is freedom. The primary objective is lifestyle that's paid for by my assets. You ain't gonna impress me because you tell me you make $10 million. I don't care. What do I care? My lifestyle is paid for. I could care less what the next guy makes. All I care about is, can I pay for my lifestyle that I have? And that's what you need to be focused on. Now, you can go out there and do all these tricks you want to do with your business and try to, do all this old magical stuff with your tax returns and don't claim no revenue and blah, 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 blah. Guys, these people are not stupid at the I to the R to the S. Read the tax code. The whole point of the thing is to make a profit. The whole point of starting a business is for it to be profitable. So why would I get in business for 10 straight years and not have any profits? I just don't think that's reasonable. So what I'm telling you is get you a good CPA, not a YouTube CPA. Go get you a real CPA and have them come up with a strategy for your business so that you only pay your fair share of taxes. That's what I recommend you do. Go get you a real licensed CPA in the area you live in, not one of these YouTube CPAs, right? That's all I'm recommending to you. Now, once you get this business going, like I said, the goal is to do what? Net profit. I want to take that net profit, invest it in something that will continue to multiply it, right? And if I do that, I'm gonna have at least $500,000 to $1 million. So now, over that same 10-year period, I got $500,000 in my brokerage account. We talked about how you get to that $500,000. I got another $500,000 in my real estate equity in my properties. So that's $1 million. I got at least $500,000 in my, I'm gonna have at least $1 million from the business. Even at a $50,000 a year net profit, if I take that 50 and I put it in something that'll multiply that at least at an 8% rate of return, I'm going to have close to 750 or $1 million just from that. So right now, I'm somewhere between $1.5 million and $2 million from those 3 asset classes. $30,000 a year in the stock market, right? 8% rate of return. Buy 1 real estate property every 2 years. The goal is to do what? Keep that property till it increases in value by at least $100,000. I'm gonna do 5 of those in the next 10 years. That's $1 million. And then the business, right? I don't have to do the business full time. My business is not full time. My 4-mile walk takes about an hour. That's when I shoot the videos in most cases. Y'all know this. Or I go right out there on my patio by the pool, shoot them there. Or I go in front of the house. Takes me 10 or 15 minutes to shoot the video because I know I'm saying stuff. I know my grammar and all that ain't, but I don't care. So I don't care about all that. So it takes me very little time to edit my videos and then I put them on YouTube. Whether YouTube plays them or not, that's on YouTube. See, I can't control what YouTube does. I can only control the content that I put up. I can't control if they play it or not. So I don't let that worry me. Why? Because I know how to make money. I know I got assets. I got assets. I love what I do and I love making the videos, but here's the situation. I never want to be controlled by anything, any entity. I don't want any entity to control me. Never again in my life. That's freedom. I don't want no entity to control me. I lost a 90,000 follower Instagram account. Did I cry about it? No. What did I do? I just started a new one. Because it don't bother me. My goal is to get content out and help people that want to be helped. People that don't want to be helped, okay. There are plenty of other people out there. I only make these videos for people that want to be helped and that feel like I have something to help them. And they take away these golden nuggets, and I hope they take them and utilize them so that they can create a pot of gold at the end of their rainbow, whenever that is. I've just given you the 3 steps, the 3 asset classes, the big 3 to get you wherever you want to go. I've given you the wealth transfer blueprint. We're going to continue that series. This wealth transfer blueprint, that's part of it. I just gave you the big 3, exactly what I did to build wealth. Now you just got to go out there and execute. But you'll never execute unless you get started. Get started, guys. Don't procrastinate. Don't delay. Get started. The easiest thing to get started with right now is paper assets. Why? Because it doesn't take a whole bunch of money to get started, right? I don't have to go figure out a solution to solve. That's something that I can work on when I'm ready to start my business. But I don't have to solve anything with paper assets. I don't have to go out and worry about down payment money right now on real estate unless I already have it. But with paper assets, I can jump right in right now. As long as I got income that I can invest and be consistent, be disciplined, be patient, I can get started right away with paper assets. I think 2024 is going to be a good year in the stock market. That doesn't mean it will be. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm just some dude. I'm not a CFP. I'm not a licensed investment advisor. I'm just a guy who did the fundamental things I just talked about for 25 years, and I'm free. And I live in a beautiful house. I got another beautiful house. I got any car I want to drive, I drive. Y'all know that if you've been rocking with me for a while. All of them paid for, right? I don't got no consumer debt. The only debt I have is mortgage debt. And I choose to have mortgage debt because it's low interest rates. I don't tell you that to brag. I tell you that because that's the power of those 7 things that I gave you before we talked about the big 3. If you would master those 7 things, your life will change. It will change. But if you want to sit around and look for shortcuts, be pessimistic, make excuses, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. Good luck to you. But I know where that leads. That leads to a miserable miserable life when you get to the golden years, because there ain't gonna be no safety net for you. So do yourself a favor, guys. Get yourself in a position where you can buy and build assets right now. It starts right now. Don't make no more excuses. Get started. Get started. As I mentioned to you guys earlier, you can get up to 15 free stocks from Moomoo. That link is down in the description box. They're gonna give you 5 free stocks when you put $100 in. Now, guys, you got to put the money in. Like I said earlier, you got to put the money in. You can't be, oh, I open the account and then 60 days later, I want to put $100 in, and then you email me or you email them saying something about, oh, I didn't. No, you got to do it. If you're not going to put the money in and open the account and get going, don't even open it. Why bother? Why waste your time? But if you're ready to start buying paper assets and building wealth, I've given you the wealth transfer blueprint for the stock market. Again, I'm not your financial advisor. You go, that's why I gave you Vanguard's information. So you can go on Vanguard's website and fact check everything I said and make your own educated decision. But I just wanted to give you some reference points when it comes to what you can invest in. But like I said, $100, you get 5 free stocks. Put $1,000 in that account, you get 15 free stocks. And that's the money you're going to start using to invest in paper assets. And then you're going to do that every single month. And you're going to do that for the next 10 years. Next 10 years. That's what you're going to do. And that's the wealth transfer blueprint for most of us that we can get started with today. Like I said, that Moomoo link is down in the description box. Go check it out if that is something you want to do. Guys, I appreciate your time tonight. I'm finna get ready to get on out of here. Do me a big favor. Hit that thumbs up button for me. I just wanted to walk y'all through what I believe gives you a really good opportunity to build wealth. Just get out there and get started. You ain't got to be no expert. Just get started. You got my Instagram down in the description box. Send me a DM if you got any questions. Send me an email if you got any questions. I do my very best to try to answer them. Again, guys, I get a lot of emails and a lot of DMs every day. So I'm not going to be able to have a long drawn out, oh, walk me through everything you talked about in the video. I can't do that. What I can do is if you got a quick question, great. Now, what you can do if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to and you want to spend 1 hour with me via FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, long as you provide the Zoom link, by phone, you can have a 1 hour consultation with me through my company, RF Financial Consulting. It's a 1 hour financial session. Many of my folks that follow me have done it. And that's your opportunity to get all your questions answered that you have that are unanswered. I will do my very best to answer them based on my skill set. I can't answer questions where I don't have a skill set in. But in my bailiwick, right, I can only answer what I'm proficient in, right? So if you want to do that, like I said, send me an email and let me know you're interested. I'll send you the information on what the price is, and then you can make a decision if it's something that you want to do or not. If not, no big deal. Keep tapping into the videos. That's where the golden nuggets are. I make videos every day. Y'all know that. The people that tap in, thank you. I appreciate your support. For those of you that aren't tapping in, consider it. Again, it's repetitive because it's for a reason. I've explained to you guys. That's how people learn. That's how people process things. That's how people see. People don't listen until they hear it the third time. First time, second time, third time, they say, oh, okay. Takes 3 times, guys, before our brain even process it. So you may have to watch something 3 times. You may have to do, you know what I'm saying? That's when your brain starts processing it. So for me, I understand that. So it's very repetitive because that's how people learn. I'm here to teach people. I'm here to provide education. I'm not here to entertain people. So for people who ain't trying to learn nothing to grow their wealth, then I'm the wrong channel for them. Because I'm gonna do the same thing every day. I hope you join me. Stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. thoughts become things. If you can see it in your filter system, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy out there and get wealthy. Peace.